Hello guys and welcome to Python programming tutorials by Amul's Academy. Today in this tutorial we are discussing about how to print stars in alphabetical Q shape, and this code is also similar to the previous pattern programs. So let's begin with the code. This is our output and here we can see stars in different row and column. To print star in different row and column we are using two for loops. One is to print stars in the row and another one is to print stars in the column. And here in the output we can see 8 rows and 5 columns. So here in the code we can see the for loop for row in range. This for loop is to print stars in the row, and here row is the variable name and we are using range function here. As we can see 8 rows in the output, I'll mention 8 here. So range will be from 0 to 8. So it will give output as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Total 8 rows. Okay. And inside that for loop we are using another for loop. It is to print stars in the column. And here call is the variable name. And in the output 5 columns are there. So I'll mention 5 here. So range will be from 0 to 5. Okay. Inside that we are using if-else conditional statement, that is we want to print stars in alphabetical Q shape. For that we need condition, so we are using if-else conditional statement. Alright, here after if keyword we need to mention the condition, that is in which row and column you want to print star. For that we need to see the output. Okay, first we'll see at column 0 and column 4 we want to print star, that is here and here. That is in the column 0 we want to print star when row is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my condition will be, I'll check whether column is equal to 0 or column is equal to 4, and at that time row should be greater than 0 and row should be less than 6. Okay, this is my first condition, and that condition for to print star here, that is at the column 0 and column 4. That's why we are checking whether column is equal to 0 or column is equal to 4. This is the logical OR operator, and in the logical OR operator if any one of the input is true then output is true. Here if any one of this condition is true then it will give output as true here. Okay. And here we can see logical AND operator. In the case of logical AND, if both the inputs are true then only output is true. So if both of this condition is true then only output is true here. So to print star both of this condition need to be true here. Okay, this is my first condition. So we are done with this task now. Okay, now we'll see the row. At row 0 and row 6 we want to print star, but at that time we want only these 3 stars, right? So my next condition will be, I'll mention logical OR here, and next I'll check whether row is equal to 0 or row is equal to 6. If it is true then column should be greater than 0 and column should be less than 4. Okay, this is my second condition. So here I use logical OR because if any one of this condition is true, either this or this, I want to print star. That's why I mentioned logical OR here. Next, in the second condition we are checking whether row is equal to 0 or row equal to 6. If any one of this condition is true, that time column should be greater than 0 and less than 4. That's why I use logical AND here. Okay, so these are my two conditions. Next, now we are done with these stars. Okay, now we need to concentrate on this star and this star. Okay, so for that I'll mention their position. That is, this star is at column 1 and row 5, and this at column 3 and row 7. So my condition will be, I'll check row 5 column 1. So here, or I want star at row is equal to 5 and column is equal to 1. So this star at row 5 column 1, and next this star at row 7 and column 3. So here I'll mention row is equal to 7 and column is equal to 3. Okay, these are my condition to print star in alphabetical Q shape. That is, first we are checking whether column is equal to 0 or column is equal to 4. If it is true, then that time row should be greater than 0 and less than 6. Next we are checking whether row is equal to 0 or 6. If it is true, then at that time column should be greater than 0 and less than 4. Next we are checking whether row is equal to 5 and column is equal to 1. If it is true, at that time I want to print star. Or I'll check whether row is equal to 7 and column is equal to 3. If it is true, then I want to print star there. Then colon, move inside the if body, and we are printing star here. Here we can see print star end empty string. In the print, by default end value will be /n. But in our output, we don't want any space or new line between the stars in a row. That is, here we can see we don't want any new line or space between them. So that's why we are mentioning end is equal to empty string here. Then if this condition becomes false, then control goes to the else part and it will print space there. Here we can see space, right? This is all because of the execution of else part. And next we can see the print in the first for loop, that is in this for loop. This is used for the new line. That is, after printing star in one row, to print next star we want to go to next line. That's why we are using this print. Now we are done with our code, so we need to save this and run this. And here we can see stars in alphabetical Q shape. Okay, that's it for now. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe my channel. I'll meet you in next class. Till then, take care.